For more now on the report, let's bring in Ousmane Diallo, the West and Central Africa researcher for Amnesty International. Thank you for joining us. Mali has witnessed increased war crimes and violence against civilians since 2018, particularly in the central regions of the country. Talk us through the key points of this new report.
Thank you very much for having me on air. As you specified, Mali has witnessed a hike in war crimes since 2018, with the civilians bearing the brunt of those casualties. It has been just a few weeks since we celebrated the 3-year anniversary of Ogosagu, where 157 civilians were killed during an attack by an armed group, and the village was almost destroyed overnight. And unfortunately, Ogosagu is only one episode in this series of violence and war crimes committed by all parties of the conflict since 2018. So whether by Islamist armed groups or by the government forces or by criminal groups in central Mali. And what we have realized at the conclusion of this research is that justice has been delayed for most of these crimes, despite the repeated commitments and to fight impunity by the government. For Ogosagu and Sobaneda, which are among the most serious crimes in Mali, the instructions are at a dead point right now. And there has been little progress since 2019 over these investigations. There are serious issues. Most of the judiciary do not have access to central Mali, and when they submit arrest warrants to bring people to be auditioned, it's seldom being affected by members of the military who are involved in day-to-day military operations against armed groups. And beyond that, there are serious issues when violations are committed by the military against civilians, because it is the military tribunals that have the lead on these investigations, and currently the military tribunals in Mali are under the thumb of political authorities, namely the Minister of Defense and Veteran Affairs, who is the one who authorized or not the prosecution of those militaries that are involved in possible war crimes in Mali.
So given this incredibly complex situation in Mali that you've just been describing, what can be done now to try and help these victims and their families get justice?
I think there are several actions that should be done immediately in order to favor the right to justice and truth in Mali. First, the Malian government, which is revising its legal code, such as the criminal code and the code of criminal procedure, should include dispositions to protect the witnesses and survivors of war crimes so that they can be auditioned by the judiciary. There should be dispositions to be interviewed anonymously, to be relocated for the time of the instructions. That will give confidence to those victims and witnesses because the possibilities of reprisals are very real. Also, it is important that in the context of the revision of the Code of Military Justice, that the military prosecutor is given enough autonomy to initiate actions when human rights abuses and violations are committed by the military against civilians. And it is also important that the Specialized Judicial Unit Against Terrorism and Organized Crime, which has been in charge of all war crimes in Mali and crimes under international law since 2019, is given enough resources and autonomy, and that there is no conflict of jurisdiction between the Specialized Judicial Unit and the military tribunal, especially in the context of abuses by the military against civilians in Mali.
Ousmane, thank you for sharing your expertise with us. Ousmane Diallo there, West and Central Africa researcher from Amnesty International.